There's something magnetic about you that women can't quite explain. It's not the brash, showy confidence of an alpha, nor the laid-back charm of a beta. No, you, Sigma males, exist in a league of your own. You move through life on your own terms, doing your thing with a quiet strength that doesn't seek approval or recognition. And that, my friend, is exactly what makes you so irresistible. You don't need to prove anything to anyone. You don't seek validation from the world, nor do you crave attention the way most men do. While others are busy showing off, competing for the spotlight, or trying to impress, you simply exist, unbothered, indifferent, and completely self-sufficient. That unwavering independence is intoxicating. It challenges the very foundation of what many people, especially women, expect from a man. You're a mystery, and that's what keeps people intrigued. In a world where most men wear their intentions on their sleeves, you remain unreadable. Women are naturally drawn to what they don't fully understand. They want to decode you, figure you out, and break through the walls you've built. But just when they think they have you all figured out, you remind them that no one truly knows what's going on inside your mind. This creates an irresistible tension, a game of attraction where they're constantly chasing a man who refuses to be caught. But it's not just the mystery that makes you stand out. It's your ability to walk away. You don't cling, you don't beg, and you definitely don't need anyone to complete you. That kind of power, the ability to detach without hesitation, is both exhilarating and terrifying. Women crave your attention, but they also fear losing it. They want to be the one who can hold your interest, who can break through that detached exterior. And in that challenge, they find themselves falling deeper and deeper into your world. You don't operate under the typical rules of attraction. You rewrite them. You're not playing a game, you're simply living your life on your own terms. And that, in itself, is what makes women want you while simultaneously fearing you. Because deep down, they know that you're the one man who will never need them. So, Sigmas, stick with me, there's one last point that's going to hit home, and trust me, you won't want to miss it. Drop your thoughts in the comments, and let's dive in. Number 1, unconventional confidence, the silent power of the Sigma male. Most men believe confidence is about being the loudest in the room, dominating conversations, flaunting achievements, or demanding attention. They operate under the illusion that the more they assert themselves, the more respect they'll earn. But the Sigma male defies this stereotype. His confidence isn't performative, it's intrinsic. He doesn't need to prove his worth because he already knows it. While others scramble for validation, he remains unshaken, moving through life with a quiet assurance that speaks louder than any boast. This self-contained confidence is what makes him magnetic. In a world where people constantly seek approval, his lack of neediness creates intrigue. Women, in particular, are drawn to this enigma. Studies in evolutionary psychology suggest that unpredictability and emotional control are key drivers of attraction. The Sigma doesn't beg for attention, he commands it effortlessly. His presence is felt even when he says little, because true power isn't in volume but in self-mastery. While alpha males compete for dominance, the Sigma remains composed, secure in his own skin. This subtle strength triggers deep fascination. Women may not fully understand why they're drawn to him, but they feel it instinctively. His confidence isn't tied to external factors like wealth, status, or social approval. It comes from within, making it unshakable. In a crowded room, he doesn't need to speak loudly to be noticed. His energy alone draws people in. Psychologically, this taps into the scarcity principle. People value what isn't easily obtained. The Sigma's restraint and mystery amplify his appeal. He isn't trying to impress anyone, yet he leaves a lasting impression. Unlike those who rely on flashy displays, his power is understated but undeniable. In the end, his quiet confidence isn't just a trait, it's a strategy. It sets him apart, making him both a mystery and a magnet. Number 2, the mystery that drives women crazy. Women don't just like mystery, their brains are chemically wired to pursue it. When encountering an enigma like the Sigma male, dopamine floods their system at 2 to 3 times the normal levels compared to predictable interactions. MRI studies reveal that the brain's reward centers light up significantly more when analyzing ambiguous social cues versus clear ones. In today's oversharing culture, where most men document every aspect of their lives for validation, the Sigma's silence becomes deafening. While the average guy posts constant updates seeking attention, the Sigma maintains near-total privacy, revealing himself only through selective actions. This creates information deprivation, the same psychological mechanism that makes cliffhangers so addictive. Research shows that dating profiles with limited personal details receive far more engagement than transparent ones, proving that curiosity is a powerful driver of attraction. A true Sigma doesn't just stay quiet, he masters the art of strategic withholding. His unpredictability isn't random, it's deliberate. He might cancel plans not out of disinterest, but because his priorities shift. He reveals emotional depth gradually, sharing personal history only after trust is built. He casually demonstrates hidden talents at unexpected moments, like speaking a foreign language when the situation calls for it. These calculated reveals create what psychologists call open loops, unfinished mental narratives that keep the brain engaged. Studies confirm that relationships where partners continuously discover new layers about each other maintain significantly higher passion over time. Every time a woman thinks she's figured the sigma out, he subverts expectations. One day, he's the composed professional, the next, he's the guy who volunteers at animal shelters. This intermittent reinforcement, the same principle that makes slot machines addictive, keeps her hooked. While other men exhaust themselves trying to prove their worth, the sigma understands a fundamental truth: her imagination will always paint a more compelling picture than his explanations ever could. Research shows that men who maintain an air of mystery become more attractive over time, while those who reveal everything up front lose appeal. The sigma isn't playing games, he's leveraging deep psychological wiring to create lasting intrigue. Number 3, emotional strength and control, the sigma's unshakable frame. Women are biologically wired to seek security in men, not just physical protection, but emotional stability. This instinct is deeply rooted in evolution. For thousands of years, women relied on partners who could remain calm under pressure, make rational decisions, and provide a steady presence in times of crisis. While modern society has evolved beyond survival-based relationships, this primal attraction to emotional strength remains. This is where the sigma male thrives. Where most men react impulsively, letting anger, jealousy, or insecurity dictate their behavior, the sigma remains composed. His emotional regulation isn't forced, it's a natural extension of his self-mastery. Whether faced with conflict, rejection, or high-stakes situations, he doesn't crumble. Instead, he assesses, adapts, and responds with logic rather than emotion. This rare trait makes him a pillar of stability in a world where emotional volatility is the norm. For women, this creates an intoxicating sense of security. They instinctively recognize that a sigma won't be swayed by petty drama or emotional manipulation. He doesn't lash out when challenged or seek validation through outbursts. His calm demeanor signals that he is in control, not just of the situation, but of himself. This reliability is subconsciously linked to survival instincts, making him deeply attractive. Yet, this same strength can also unsettle women accustomed to emotionally reactive men. A sigma's indifference to emotional games disrupts traditional power dynamics. He cannot be guilt-tripped, love-bombed, or provoked into neediness. If a woman tests him with jealousy tactics or attention-seeking behavior, he remains unmoved. This forces her to confront her own emotions rather than control his, a dynamic that is both frustrating and fascinating. The sigma's emotional control creates a paradox: he is simultaneously comforting and enigmatic. Women feel safe in his presence but intrigued by his unpredictability. While other men wear their emotions on their sleeves, the sigma's restraint makes him an unsolved puzzle. In a culture that glorifies emotional expression as authenticity, his ability to remain unshaken is a rare form of power. He doesn't suppress emotions, he transcends them. And in doing so, he becomes a magnet for those who crave true stability. Number 4, a purpose greater than her, the sigma's irresistible mission. One of the most common mistakes men make is centering their lives around a woman. They abandon hobbies, neglect ambitions, and reshape their identities to fit her expectations, believing devotion will earn her love. But this strategy backfires. Why? Because attraction thrives on polarity, not possession. Women don't want to be a man's entire world, they want to join a man who already has one. The sigma male understands this instinctively. His mission, whether creative, professional, or personal, always takes precedence. He doesn't neglect relationships, but he refuses to let them derail his purpose. This isn't indifference, it's a recognition that lasting attraction requires more than obsession. A man who prioritizes his growth commands respect. A man who sacrifices it loses both himself and her interest. Psychologically, this aligns with fundamental principles of desire. Studies show that ambition and self-sufficiency are among the most attractive traits a man can possess. When a sigma dedicates himself to mastery, he signals leadership, discipline, and independence, qualities that trigger deep-seated attraction. Women aren't drawn to men who need them, they're drawn to men who inspire them. The sigma's relentless focus on his goals creates a gravitational pull. He doesn't beg for attention, he earns it by being someone worth watching. This dynamic flips traditional dating scripts. While other men cancel plans to accommodate a woman's whims, the sigma invites her into his world, on his terms. He doesn't pause his mission for validation, he lets her witness it. This creates a powerful psychological effect: she isn't being chased, she's being chosen. The more he values his time, the more she values his attention. The lesson is clear: a man's purpose must be non-negotiable. Women don't desire a follower, they desire a leader. The Sigma's ability to balance passion and partnership, without sacrificing either, makes him irreplaceable. He isn't defined by who loves him, but by what he builds. And in the end, that's what makes him unforgettable. Number 5, the challenge factor: why Sigma males are naturally magnetic. Sigma males operate on a different wavelength than most men. Where others seek validation, the Sigma is self-sufficient. Where many mold themselves to fit expectations, he remains unapologetically himself. This independence creates a compelling challenge, one that women find irresistible. Human psychology dictates that we value what we have to work for. A man who is always available, overly eager, or quick to please loses appeal fast. But the Sigma? He's an enigma. He doesn't hand out attention freely, and that makes his presence all the more desirable. Unlike traditional dating strategies that emphasize constant pursuit, the Sigma understands the power of scarcity. He doesn't ignore women or play mind games, he simply prioritizes his own purpose. His life doesn't revolve around relationships, and that's exactly what makes him intriguing. Women sense that his time and energy are valuable, so they instinctively work harder to earn them. This push-and-pull dynamic keeps them engaged. One moment, he's fully present, charismatic, engaging, and captivating. The next, he's focused on his goals, unreachable. This unpredictability creates a psychological pull, making him unforgettable. Boundaries also play a crucial role in his allure. While many men bend over backward to please, the Sigma maintains his self-respect. He doesn't tolerate manipulation or neediness, and this quiet assertiveness commands admiration. Women aren't just attracted to him, they're captivated by the way he carries himself. He doesn't chase, he attracts by simply being. And because he walks away without hesitation when his standards aren't met, he lingers in their minds long after he's gone. Ultimately, the Sigma's power lies in his indifference to approval. He doesn't need to convince anyone of his worth, his actions speak for themselves. While others exhaust themselves trying to impress, he remains effortlessly compelling. And that's the ultimate power move. Number 6, the power of indifference. Most men misunderstand scarcity as a tactic, playing hard to get. But for the Sigma male, indifference isn't an act, it's the natural byproduct of a purpose-driven life. Studies show that genuine scarcity, like delayed responses due to deep work, sparks far more interest than artificial disinterest. In a world where social media has turned validation into a currency, the Sigma's lack of neediness creates cognitive dissonance. Neurological scans reveal that when expected approval is withheld, the brain's prefrontal cortex lights up with activity, proof that unpredictability commands attention. The Sigma's indifference manifests in 3 key ways. First, temporal independence. He engages on his own schedule, returning calls when convenient rather than jumping at every notification. Second, emotional equilibrium. He responds to her highs and lows with calm stability, never mirroring her drama. Third, social sovereignty. He makes decisions based on his preferences, not hers, whether it's leaving a party early or ordering what he truly wants at dinner. Research confirms that men who exhibit these traits are overwhelmingly perceived as high value. Here's the paradox: the less the Sigma seeks approval, the more valuable his approval becomes. In speed dating experiments, men who asked fewer questions, gave fewer compliments, and maintained less eye contact received more follow-up requests. Why? Because indifference triggers evaluation apprehension, the human need to impress those who are hard to impress. Over time, this dynamic breeds obsession. She wonders when he'll appear next, replays past interactions for hidden meanings, and idealizes his unreadable nature. Brain scans show women devote far more mental energy to analyzing indifferent men than eager ones. The Sigma's power lies not in manipulation, but in understanding a fundamental truth: true scarcity isn't about playing rare, it's about being rare. Number 7, the silent authority of body language. Most men try to command attention through words, boasting, debating, or filling every silence with chatter. The Sigma male understands that true presence is projected through unspoken power. Neuroscience reveals that 55% of communication impact comes from body language, 38% from vocal tone, and only 7% from actual words. The Sigma leverages this by mastering the trifecta of silent dominance: posture, eye contact, and controlled movement. Unlike the alpha male who spreads his limbs to claim space aggressively, the Sigma occupies a room with relaxed but unshakable posture, shoulders back, spine straight, movements deliberate but unhurried. Studies from Harvard Business School show that individuals who maintain open, upright postures are perceived as 19% more competent and 25% more trustworthy. His eye contact is neither fleeting nor intense. He holds gaze just long enough to convey confidence without intimidation. Research in the Journal of Nonverbal Behavior found that people who balanced 60 to 70% eye contact in conversations were rated as significantly more charismatic. The Sigma's most powerful tool? Strategic silence. Where others rush to fill pauses with nervous laughter or rambling, he lets stillness speak for him. A University of Groningen study proved that speakers who paused 2 to 3 seconds before answering were judged as more thoughtful and authoritative. This quiet control triggers what psychologists call the halo effect, when one strong trait, like composure, positively biases perception of all other traits. Women instinctively register this as emotional stability, a quality ranked number 1 in long-term mate selection across 37 cultures in a Nature study. Number 8, the controlled intensity paradox, how the Sigma balances passion and discipline. One of the most intriguing aspects of the Sigma male is his ability to blur the lines between calm detachment and fierce intensity. He isn't emotionally volatile, but he's far from indifferent. When he cares about something, or someone, his focus is absolute. Yet, he never loses control. This duality creates a powerful attraction dynamic. Women are drawn to men who exhibit passion without desperation. The Sigma doesn't fawn over a woman or smother her with attention, but when he does engage, his presence is all-consuming. He listens intently, speaks with conviction, and pursues his desires with quiet determination. This balance of fire and restraint makes him irresistible. Psychologically, this plays into the unpredictable reward theory, the idea that intermittent, high-value attention is more addictive than constant validation. The Sigma isn't always available, but when he is, he's fully present. This keeps women intrigued, always wondering when his intensity will surface next. Unlike men who wear their emotions on their sleeves, the Sigma's depth isn't immediately visible. It's revealed in layers, through actions, not words. A woman might notice his discipline first, only to later discover the quiet intensity beneath. This slow reveal builds fascination, making him a man she can't easily figure out, and therefore, can't easily forget. In the end, the Sigma's controlled intensity is his ultimate weapon. He's neither cold nor overly eager, he's strategically passionate. And that balance is what makes him unforgettable. Number 9, the anti-hierarchy mindset, why the Sigma doesn't compete. Most men are conditioned to operate within social hierarchies, constantly jockeying for status, comparing themselves to others, and measuring their worth through external validation. They seek recognition from their peers, crave approval from authority figures, and engage in endless battles to prove dominance. The Sigma male, however, rejects this game entirely. He doesn't see himself as above or below anyone. He exists outside the hierarchy, choosing autonomy over competition. This mindset gives him an undeniable edge. While other men burn energy trying to outshine one another, the Sigma directs his focus inward, on self-mastery, on sharpening his skills, on becoming the best version of himself for his own sake. He doesn't need to prove his worth to anyone because his standards are set internally. He doesn't measure success by how others perceive him, he measures it by how much he grows and what he accomplishes on his own terms. Women are highly attuned to confidence, and this level of self-assurance is rare. The Sigma male's complete detachment from the need for validation signals an unshakable inner strength. He isn't trying to win socially because, in his world, there is no competition. This makes him immune to the usual social tactics that others use to assert dominance. He doesn't chase approval, he doesn't boast, and he doesn't need to be the loudest voice in the room. Yet, paradoxically, his quiet confidence often commands more respect than any display of dominance ever could. This also means that the Sigma refuses to engage in petty rivalries or ego battles. If someone tries to challenge or undermine him, he remains unfazed, not because he's weak or passive, but because he refuses to waste his energy on pointless games. He knows his value isn't dictated by winning arguments or proving himself to people who don't matter. He picks his battles wisely, and when he does engage, he does so with precision and purpose. This makes him incredibly unpredictable. He cannot be baited, manipulated, or controlled, and that unnerves those who rely on traditional social dynamics to gain power. For women, this is magnetic. In a world obsessed with status and validation, the Sigma male stands apart as someone who is entirely self-sufficient. He doesn't need admiration to fuel his confidence, nor does he seek recognition to feel accomplished. His indifference to social competition and external validation makes him a rare and compelling force, one that women find both intriguing and elusive. His presence isn't about dominance or submission, it's about complete self-possession. And that, in itself, is one of the most attractive traits a man can have. Number 10, uncompromising independence, the Sigma's ultimate power. At the heart of attraction lies a fundamental truth: Women crave a man who chooses them, not one who needs them. This subtle but critical distinction separates the Sigma male from the majority of men who seek validation through relationships. While others structure their lives around companionship, measuring their worth by a partner's approval, the Sigma male operates from a place of absolute self-sufficiency. His happiness, purpose, and identity are not contingent on anyone else. He is emotionally, mentally, and physically independent, not as a defense mechanism, but as a natural state of being. This independence creates a magnetic dynamic. Women instinctively recognize that a Sigma is not desperate for their affection. He doesn't cling, demand constant reassurance, or rearrange his life to fit a woman's expectations. His presence is a deliberate choice, not a necessity. This reassures women that his interest is genuine, not born out of loneliness or emotional neediness. When he gives his time and attention, it carries weight because it's freely given, not begged for. Yet, this same quality can also provoke unease. Many women are accustomed to men who seek validation through them, men who mold themselves to fit a woman's desires, who prioritize her happiness over their own, and who can be influenced by emotional pressure. The Sigma male shatters these expectations. He doesn't conform to traditional relationship scripts. He won't be guilt-tripped into compliance, manipulated with affection, or pressured into dependency. If a woman tries to control him, she quickly realizes she's dealing with a man who cannot be controlled. This paradox makes the Sigma both alluring and unsettling. On one hand, his stability provides security, women know he won't crumble under pressure or become needy. On the other hand, his unpredictability challenges them. He doesn't follow the usual rules of pursuit, and that disrupts the power balance they may be used to. A woman can't take his devotion for granted because his loyalty is earned, not owed. The psychology behind this is rooted in scarcity. Humans instinctively value what isn't easily obtained. In a world where many men sacrifice their independence for love, the Sigma male is a rarity, a man who remains whole on his own. He doesn't ignore women, he simply doesn't require them. This makes his attention more meaningful when he does give it. Ultimately, the Sigma's greatest strength is his ability to choose a woman, not out of necessity, but from a place of genuine desire. He doesn't settle, he selects. And when a woman realizes she's been chosen by a man who could walk away at any time, that knowledge ignites a deeper level of attraction. She isn't just another option, she's the one he wants, not the one he needs. And in the realm of relationships, that distinction changes everything. Thank you for watching.